I'm Anthony Wright, and I'm your host today on The Living Conversation with my co-host.
Adam Dietz,
And we
welcome.
are joined today by the Sonoma State University Philosophy Club with Colette, who is the president, and members Haley and Andrew. And before the break, I was talking about, and Colette had mentioned before the break, about the grounding exercise. And it's one of the things that I offer to all of my students about when you're, and it's really assists, particularly when you're in a situation where there's a power differential, where somebody that's more powerful than you, either older or they are have more social power or more academic power or legal power, to get grounded, and then you're not kind of being swept around by emotions that people would try to offer you. So one of the things is I have people sit quietly and then imagine, this is the first one, to grow roots out of the soles of your feet down into the ground, like maybe 10 feet. And then you're up on a second floor, just to have that imaginary root that comes out of the soles of your feet that goes down into the earth about 10 feet. And then just to notice how quiet it is there down up in the earth, and then you can be rooted into the earth. So and how have you found that useful, Colette?
Well, I am a person with lots of anxiety, and
Oh, right, right.
um, so even when the outside world isn't loud, it's sometimes still loud in here, in my head. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll use the grounding method to make it a little quieter so I can think clearer about what I'm
Oh,
doing.
that's great. And it's always, and I think I've asked you this before. Are you anxious about stuff that happened yesterday?
I'm usually anxious about like all the things, so probably yeah.
Your anxiety is really a function of stuff that happened in the past. So,
hmm
for example, you've taken a test already last semester,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Are you anxious about that?
No.
No, it's in the past, right?
Yeah.
So the other grounding exercise that I do is what I'm calling Gaian grounding. And it is actually, I don't know if we want to take the time to do it on the air here, um, but it's locating that part of you that is your awareness. And sometimes people's awareness is between their eyes, and sometimes people's awareness is in their chest at the level of the heart. But it's always to be able to move that awareness around in the body. And what we do, and I won't have you do it now, but what we do is to take that awareness and make it kind of like a ball, like the size of a softball or whatever, and then connect that awareness with the heart with a little imaginary silver thread. And then imagine that you can move your awareness around, like to the top of your head or to your belly or to your feet or even outside the body, but it's always connected to the heart with a little silver thread, so you can always find your way back. And what we do is then we'll take that awareness that is connected to the silver with a silver thread to the heart, and let it go down through the soles of the feet down into the ground, and continue to go deeply into the ground for like 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, right to the center of the earth. And once people get to that, I ask people to notice a greenish light, and they go right for the center of that. And in terms of archetypal psychology, this is known as Gaia, who is the feminine uh, Greek goddess that gives life to everything on earth. And to connect that silver thread into Gaia and to allow that thread to remain attached, so that ever after, and we run up and down the thread a few times, but ever after, then that connection is maintained. I've been doing this since, like, the first time I was introduced to it was 1989, and it's been so useful because when I come into a situation that is um, uncertain, I'll do a Gaian grounding. I actually do it every morning. And like Adam does Tai Chi, and I'd be interested in hearing your experience about grounding with Tai Chi, Adam. but it really assists because I'm no longer this, independent body that can be bowled over by a huge blast of emotion or something. Is that making sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, all right, it's coming through. Okay. Um, yeah, so in many senses I understand what you mean. I mean I have a very physicalist, materialist sort of worldview, so like most people's definition of spirituality or whatever I
Uh-huh.
don't believe in and stuff. However, that whole feeling, at least down to moving it around within the body, I do that for myself. Like that
Oh,
is a
good.
real thing. And of course, like I'm not like here to attack anything on like, oh, it's not suicide, because like as human being, like we're animals, we evolved, so like we have certain things that have semantic meaning, that have emotional meaning, that were useful, and like a lot of these things that tend to like get pushed as like stuff that is like weird and fringe, actually they're genuine like emotional things, and they're actually useful tools. And so like that
Yep.
specifically is a very useful tool that I actually I completely agree doesn't get talked enough about, how you can like trust certain parts of your bodies has different instincts and stuff. Like I'll trust my stomach or my heart for something, and like I know exactly what you mean about being able to like move something, and that's a very important skill, I would say, that a lot of people should have, is like being able to
Yeah.
understand which parts of your body you should designate to like which emotions.
And you have choice because if you
Exactly,
start
yeah.
feeling a certain way, you go, what? Is that really my emotion? So, Adam, you practice Tai Chi every day.
I do practice Tai Chi every day.
So please talk a bit
I
about
enjoy
that,
it.
about
It's
how
very
that's useful.
grounding. Hmm?
Yeah, how that's useful.
Yeah. Well, as far as on one hand, you have the experience of meditation, and meditation can help you settle your mind. It can help you settle your mind, help you have more space from emotions, help everything be a little more clear. Now, Tai Chi allows you to do that in a very embodied way. You still do one breath in, one breath out, but you are moving. You're moving your body. You're using your muscles. You're also practicing what is in Taoist philosophy, the movement of the way, the movement of Tao. So the movement of the principle of the universe. uh, the universe has scientific laws.
Hmm.
Okay? Uh, Matter is neither created nor destroyed, just changes shape. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction is actually describing the movement of the way, the movement of the Tao. Because the movement of the way, the movement of the Tao is reverse and return. So when you practice Tai Chi, you practice one breath in, one breath out. This syncs with the universe. The universe has morning comes up to noon, back down to night. Winter comes up to summer, back down to winter. Tides go in, tides go out. Waves come in, waves come out. Breath goes in, breath goes out. So you practice Tai Chi, you go a little bit forward this way, then you come back this way. Reverse and return is a movement of the way. So you sync your body to this phenomenon that's in the universe, and the goal of human being is to experience this and then to integrate it. Then to integrate it. So Tai Chi every morning allows me to feel more free. Before I practiced Tai Chi, I thought my philosophy, my life was very ethics. I needed to do everything just right. If I did everything just right, I would
You
feel
have to
very
be
good.
perfect.
Yeah, I feel very good. If I made a mistake, maybe I wouldn't feel so good.
Mm.
Mencius in Confucian philosophy calls this righteousness chi, that you do the good things, you feel better, you have good chi. But now Tai Chi allowed me to sync with this type of principle every morning. So now I feel more free with myself. Okay, I made a little mistake here. Okay, I have some bad habits here. Okay, it's okay. I'll be gentle with myself. I have some old karma I'm working through. Okay, but now I'm okay. I still have the principle in it. The principle is still in it. Hmm?
And would
That's so
you?
interesting you were talking about that. I do something very similar called Qigong.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it totally changed my life. I have a lot of anxiety, but like why I started was I was really getting over a difficult time I had in high school with a bully, actually.
Oh.
Oh,
And so like I just could not get the words that they had said to me out of my head. And when I started to practice Qigong, it was like suddenly I could control the thoughts in my head, and like my hands weren't shaking, and I felt very whole. It was very nice. So
Very good. Yeah, I practiced Qigong before Tai Chi, but go
Yeah.
ahead, Haley.
Oh yeah, just to piggyback off of what both of you guys are saying. While I haven't practiced either of those, I have tried meditation because I do also like Colette, a lot of anxiety, a lot of rumination, stuff like
Mm,
that.
mm,
And always in my meditation practice, it's always about noting. And
mm.
like we talk
Oh,
noting
yeah.
emotions, and you're never trying to suppress them as much as we ideally think, oh, these are bad thoughts, these are bad emotions, we want to get rid of them or expel them. Just the noting and the, like we talked about, like, what is making me feel that way? Is it something outside of me that is happening and, causing chaos, or is it something internal? And being able to relate that to how it's making my body, how it shows up in my body, because I can definitely tell, like, I get really tense, or,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, and you can definitely feel after long bouts of stress or anxiety that you just feel that tension. Like you might get used to it because it's just happening for a while, but once you maybe take a second to meditate or to do, I practice more yoga, but I that physical, like once I'm actually getting like in touch with my physical body, being like, oh, I didn't let myself just breathe. I'm not letting myself just exist as a person because I'm so wound up, and realizing that those thoughts and those physical sensations are connected has really helped me. I know I probably don't do as much of the meditation or as much as the yoga that would be beneficial to me, but I also know, because I think for a while I was like, oh, meditation, that's hard. That's not going to work for me. You try for 2 minutes and, it doesn't work. And you're like, forget it. But I think the real like struggle is actually forcing yourself to go through with it and make it a daily practice and realize how connected you know, our brain and our thoughts are to our physical body.
Yeah. Well, we're
I have
coming
some
up on,
experience with that. We have another break coming.
yep, we've got a
Okay.
short break coming up here. I'm Anthony Wright, and I'm your co-host today on the Living Conversation with
Adam Dietz.
Adam Dietz. And how can people contact you, Adam?
You can look me up on Substack at the way between at substack.com, and you could contact me directly, deetsadam at gmail, DIETZ Adam Gmail. Love to hear
And
from
our
you.
guests today are members of the Sonoma State University Philosophy Club, and the president is Colette. And how can people contact you guys?
hi. Yeah, so just reach out to the Instagram for the Philosophy Club, just SSU Philosophy Club. We love to hear from you.
Great. All right, we're going to take a short break and be right back, so stay tuned.